I'm an old man. I'm only 93. I've got maybe another 10 or 15 years, hopefully 20. But the edifice that you're building is so important when all of the memories that are alive today are gone. And then they'll look at this edifice and say, hey, this represents a special day in the life of the country and in the life of the military. Your friends, they disappear. They die, or you have an argument or something. Money comes and goes. The only thing that's really important when all the chips are down is family. You know, Hitler owned owned Europe, and Churchill said, "To hell with you. We'll fight to the last man." And he did. I can remember there were wooden tanks on the grounds when they sent the Luftwaffe over to photograph. And the days of the old buzz bombs. I remember in a place called Hootie, and we were a farmhouse at the end of the field, and the field was really furrowed. And we had the two supporting battalions. I think it was the Ken Scots, and the Calgarys moved into this field. And it was 9 platoon first, and then 7 platoon, and then 8 platoon. And the field was furrowed. So you try running in a furrowed field. We were told that the right flank was secured, the left flank was secured. In the middle of the field was a straw stack, and it had an 88 in it. And we got to the farmhouse, and the farmhouse was full of German soldiers. So we got caught in a crossfire. And then, the one thing I remember is going, and it was barbed wire fence in front of the place. It wasn't a farmhouse occupied by a farmer. It was occupied by the German army, by the Wehrmacht. And I remember sliding under the barbed wire fence, and my helmet got caught. And I could feel the bullet come so close that it burned. That's the first time I ever said, God, get me the hell out of here. When you're 18 years old, you don't know too much. But the one thing I learned with my war experience was the importance of togetherness. Because when you went in, you know, you got orders, advance till you encounter enemy fire. That means go and keep moving till you get shot. Or if you don't get shot, you shoot back. You know where your enemy is. But there was a togetherness that I think is probably more emphatic today in the service, because you had a dependency on one another. And you cared about one another. And that's a lesson that I learned when I was there. Value your fellow man. And they gave me a deal. We're going to give you a deal. We're going to send you home. You get 30 days leave. The war was still on in Japan, and all we want you to do is join the 6th Division, which we didn't have at the time. They formed a 6th Division for Japan. Or you can stay here with the occupation army for a year. So I stayed in Germany with the occupation army for a year after the war finished. I had a water bottle, and the water bottle, you know, in the morning, if we were moving off, we'd have a rum tot, naval rum, good, strong naval rum. And we'd serve it in the cap, grenade cap. And you'd have a tot of rum to give you a little fortification to move on. And I had this water bottle with the leftover rum. And I got to tell you, I've never had a potent drink like that in my life. Ever since, ever before and ever since. So when I was in Germany, the war finished and I was in a place called Oldenburg in northwestern Germany. And we had crossed from Holland, from Bergendal. And we were strafed once by a Messerschmitt as we were moving on. And then we moved from Bergendal across the border into Germany, a town called Kleve, then Kalkar, then Königsberg. And the artillery and the Air Force had flattened all of these towns. And we went as far as the Rhine River. And then we crossed the Rhine River in a place called Cologne. There was a beautiful cathedral there. And we crossed the river in a rubber boat. And I couldn't swim, so it's a good thing I didn't puncture it. And then we landed in Cologne, and then we went all the way through Germany. And when the war finished, we were ready to move off into either Wilhelmshaven or Bremen, I can't remember which. But that was how close it was. And then there was nowhere else for the Germans to go because that was the North Sea. And then over the wireless comes the news that the war is over. I learned one thing. In the Army, you do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But as long as we have a few old goats like myself alive and around, they're the people that should convey the message.